What's up, YouTube? Been a while since I've made a video, but I've been tying up a bunch of intruder style, steelhead flies to swing this spring for the Great Lakes area. Pretty simple. It's just got the one stage up front here, tying it on a tube. You could certainly use a shank if you want. I just like the tubes. It's a lot quicker than tying on a trailer wire or trailer hook with wire and all that, but it's kind of what the finished product is going to look like here. Start off by just putting the tube in the vise. I got some 100 denier GSP. You can use whatever thread you'd like. Just make sure it's strong enough. We're going to spin a little bit of deer hair for the prop on this fly, so you want something that's not going to break on you. Just start your thread towards the end. Leave a little bit right here for our junction tubing. You can use whatever color you want. I'm using a little sparkle braid here for the body. Tie that in here. And we're gonna wrap up about halfway, maybe 2/3 of the way. And put in some bead chain eyes, or you could put, I don't have any cones right now that fit this tube, but if you had a little, brass cone or tungsten cone, if you really want to get down, whatever. We're putting a little bit of weight on to counterbalance the buoyancy of the deer hair. If you were fishing this fly in lower water, you didn't really need to get down with it, you could not add the bead chain eyes or extra weight here. But I have noticed when you run this fly, especially on a tube, the tube is already a little bit more buoyant than a shank would be. But it does want to ride a little bit higher in the water column when you have deer hair on these flies. I think the deer hair is really cool though, especially if you tie it sparse enough, your fly sparse enough. You definitely kind of get this darker silhouette when this fly's wet in the water on the head of the fly. That's really cool, and it's a nice, easy way to prop up your fibers. So yeah, I've been tying a lot of flies the last couple years. These intruders with deer hair, opposed to using, a dubbing ball with rabbit fur or Arctic fox, whatever have you. But after we tie those bead chain eyes in, hit this with a little super glue and make sure that this fly isn't going to move on this tube at all. And I often just kind of freestyle a lot of these. This is just freestyling a fly a couple years ago, kind of intruder style, based off of that. And I came up with this, and I really liked it, and it worked, and it's fairly quick. Guess you could call it a guide fly. I've tied it, with the second stage back here with other feathers, some mallard back here flaring out just because it's cool and it works, but I'm just tying a nice, quick and easy fly here that it's not going to matter if we lose it in a tree or whatever, because it's only going to take us 10 minutes to tie, if that. So, all right. Take some deer body hair. In black, I'm going to use about a inch long piece of this, and it's maybe about a half of a pencil's worth. Just going to do two semi-loose wraps. I'm keeping pressure on this bobbin here, and I'm going to use my thumb and just kind of press down and kind of work these deer hair fibers around the tube. I'm gonna pull tight. And lock all those in. Sometimes this deer hair at first wants to slide around a little bit on you. So I just kind of keep packing it back towards those bead chain eyes and a couple more wraps, tight wraps to secure it. Doesn't have to be perfect, you know, this is a prop. It's going to be underneath, you know, majority of the materials now. Take a little bit of Flashaboo, whatever colors you want for some reason. This colorway, just like the Rainbow Flashaboo and Olive, been very successful for some reason. So when I first started, you know, swinging flies for steelhead, I used a fly like similar to this. It was like olive with rainbow flash, and it just kind of stuck, you know. I guess once you find something that works, it's hard to get away from, and I've just always have to have a few of these color combos in the box. Yeah, tie your flash in. Doesn't have to be perfect. Kind of work it around. You take a hair clip and just get those out of the way. Trim them up if you need to. So we're gonna do a quick dubbing loop with some ostrich. Use whatever clip you want. I have the CDC clamp, but I'll use about, you know, 1.5 inches or so. I'll measure that quick so you don't go too long. You want the tail ends of these fibers just to kind of be at this the end of the trailer hook here. Cut that. Leave a little bit right there. Make a quick dubbing loop. Dubbing spinner on there. Throw those fibers in the loop. Now, if this were a big composite loop and I had all these different materials, I might, you know, play around with spreading these out a little more. But for this fly, keeping it nice and simple, we're just gonna leave them in that loop as they were in the clip. Spin these up enough where they're not gonna fall out. Want a nice durable fly that hopefully will catch a bunch of fish and not fall apart on us. So spin that up nice and tight. Take this clamp off now. Either use some water or saliva and wet this down. Makes it a lot easier to hold all those fibers back. So you wrap this up. Keep brushing those back. All right. Cut that off there. All right. You see, like, once it's wet, it's fairly sparse. A lot of flash in there. The deer hair props it out nicely. And that I like how the deer hair kind of comes through those fibers a little bit. Makes it look really buggy, too. But yeah, we're going to finish it off, add a little contrast to the head of the fly here. Just got a little brown schlappen feather. We're going to tie this feather in at the tip. And you want your feather, how it's concaved like that, you want it facing down when you tie it in. It makes it easier for you to hold these fibers back. So, tie it in at the tip here with that concave, facing down. That's nice and tight. Wet your fingers again. And just brush those back. Now, as I'm wrapping this, if I take my left hand, go over and I can just pinch these back and hold them there, let go with my other hand, and just repeat the process. And these should keep this schlappen feather and all those fibers facing the right way the entire time I'm wrapping this. And if a couple loose ones get trapped going the wrong way, it's okay. You can always fix it with your thread or cut them off later. All right, that's locked in. Cut that tag end. And when you're, at least the way this needle's set up, it's a little long, so I have a extended body whip finisher. You could do a half hitch, whatever. It makes it's a little difficult to do with your normal whip finisher. But yeah, however you'd like, finish off the fly with a whip finish, half hitch, whatever. The reason I use white thread is I can make the head of this whatever color. We're going to go with orange. It's on an orange tube anyhow, so we'll put a little Sharpie hot spot on the head. Slide this off of here a little bit. Clip the excess, flip her around. Those fibers out of the way. Just hit it with a second with the lighter, get it to a little flare on it. Got a little piece of junction tubing to secure our hook, our trailer hook. When we go to fish it, finish the head off quick. You want to leave it on the needle while you burn it so you don't melt the hole closed. And just touch it for a second. You don't want to just wait for it to melt, because you will melt it fairly quickly, or you also don't want to melt your thread. And now you can fill it in with UV or whatever head cement you want. That's it. Hope you liked it. Hope you try it out. Catch a fish on it. Fairly simple. You can, add more stuff to it. I got a little more intricate one here, different colorway. You can add, we got some Senyo's Predator wrap to it, whatever flash, whatever colorway. Get creative with it. This one particular I have had a lot of luck on, so I always have a few in the box, but I also really like, orange and black. Here's one we did with, black and olive or black and chartreuse. kind of cool. But we'll throw this in the swim test tank so you can kind of see what it looks like when it's wet. But pretty cool, simple. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for checking it out, and till next time, appreciate you.